winning.
Pick
weekly.
Smith for the win.
Raisi K.
Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome to college bowl season and some Heisman talk on Winning Picks Weekly. As always, I'm John, joined by Greg and Chip. What's up, guys? Jaden Daniels just won the Heisman. FSU undefeated, didn't get into the four that we talked about. Albany is in the FCS semifinals versus South Dakota, who has won the last 27 straight games. We had Matt Rule on the last part of my take episode saying he was up till midnight watching Albany. Hell yeah. How you guys feeling? We got the Final Four. We got so much going on, really, in everywhere you look. You know, you could look at the team that didn't get out, right? We could have that discussion. We could talk about the Heisman. We could talk about the FCS, the Albany semifinals for South Dakota. There's so many places to touch it. We could talk about the transfers, right? All my favorite quarterbacks going to my favorite schools. I'm so hyped about the transfers. We'll talk about that later. I mean, where do you guys want to start? What are your thoughts on college season? We're not even talked about the actual four, right? Like, what do you guys stand right now on December 12th?
I mean, I love it because my favorite part of sports has always been the NBA offseason and all the drama with that. And I have we always have our notifications on with Woj and Shams. I have my notifications on right now for college football to get updates on what players are transferring and if they've committed. And now it's like where they're taking visits. Riley Leonard just committed we're recording this on Tuesday, December 12th. Riley Leonard committed to Notre Dame today, and I got a notification for that. And Tyler Van Dyke committed to Wisconsin. But I got notifications. Kyle McCord is visiting Nebraska or something. Yeah. Ohio State kid. And that's just popping up everywhere. It's like NBA rumors now, all of this stuff.
It is, but it's like 100 teams deep.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the craziest part.
And once you choose your second team, it's over.
Yeah.
Once you transfer, you're stuck here forever. It's like
not with Cam Ward, though, because he transferred from an FCS team. He traded up. With Cam Ward, it's like a small market thing. Like Washington State was like his small market team, and now he's going to trade up to the Lakers and go play for USC or Florida State or something. Probably not.
I mean, that's what Jared Verse did.
Florida State. Yeah, Jared Verse.
Albany to FSU. I'm sure he can go somewhere if he wants to, but he's probably going to the NFL. His draft stock probably dropped a little bit if he went last year, which kind of sucks. And I mean, Greg was not happy about. FSU should have had a playoff. Verse should have been in the playoff. Playing in front of the whole world.
Yeah, and it was frustrating. I was watching who they play. Was it Louisville? I was watching with a buddy, and he was just like, "So who's the guy that you're watching?" I was like, "Number 5, Jared Verse." And we're watching him play. He's like, "Dude, why is everyone on the defensive line number 5?" I was like, I don't know. It's been a problem all year. I don't know who I have to write to. What are we doing with these numbers? It's 5, 15, 55, and 95 on the defensive line. And I didn't really notice it until he pointed it out. I was like, yeah, it kind of is annoying. So, dude, Jared Verse, I wish he got more. I mean, I was hoping for the national spotlight. I was hoping for the national attention because that defense is incredible. Not just him, but the whole defensive line is great. They're great because the secondary is amazing. I mean, people have been talking about it, so I don't know how much we want to beat it up more. But, dude, how you play a season, go undefeated, it's tough because, you say, oh, well, they're not going to win or they're going to be, underdogs by so much and all this stuff. It's like, well, Oregon was an 8.9-point favorite against Washington, and Washington won. So what does Vegas know? What does anyone know? It's why you play. So it's tough. I get that if you put Alabama in, you have to put Texas in. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that because Alabama just looks so good. They took down the Giant. They took down an undefeated for 2 years Georgia team. I feel like if you slay the dragon, you should get into the playoffs no matter who beats you, no matter what your record was. So
Can I be honest? I'm more offended that Georgia didn't make it over the fact that FSU didn't make it. Because like Georgia hasn't lost a game in 2 years. Right? I know we only count this year, and they lost the game to Alabama, who's now in the playoff. Like it's not like they lost to a random team like Washington State or USC
or LSU with 3 losses, and it's like Jaden Daniels went nuts and scored 8 touchdowns, and you lose a fluke game, dude. It's tough too because again with the Alabama stuff, it's like everyone's like Alabama's so good they took down Georgia. I just said that myself not 60 seconds ago, but they needed some crazy plays to happen to beat Auburn. That's just another reason.
A 4th and 30 to beat Auburn.
Yeah, I mean before that they needed a lot of help. That whole drive they needed help. So I feel like that's a reason why you have to let FSU and you just have to play and see what happens. I know it sucks because a lot of the college playoff games have been bad, and they're trying to avoid
TCU,
it.
Right?
What's up?
You think this is because of TCU? Like, right? You think FSU is being punished because of how bad TCU was?
Yes, but also I feel like every year there's bad games. Like it's just what happens in college football. Like someone out schemes someone out prepares someone. I feel like Michigan gets to the playoff a lot and they just lose. So, you could be the number 1 team in the country, you could be the number 1 team and all this stuff. There's a reason why you play. So I don't know. It's tough. It's tough for Florida State. Like, how do you explain to them that, you're the 5th best team in the country? And what sucks now is what do you do? Do you play against Georgia? Because if you lose by 3 touchdowns to Georgia, all they're going to say for the rest of the time is, see, this is why you didn't make the playoff. Like, if I'm Florida State, I'm walking away being like, we should be national champions. We never know what could have happened. We're an undefeated team with the best defense in the country.
If they beat Georgia, they can claim a national championship, as far as I'm concerned.
True, too.
They can say, like, we're the best team. F all of you. We should have been in it. And, like, we could have beaten Michigan. Screw all of you. So they absolutely should play Georgia just to prove it. They got nothing to lose against Georgia, as far as I'm concerned. I know people are going to say, like, if Georgia spanks them, that ruins the whole season. I completely disagree. I think they had a great year. Like, they totally deserved it. Totally deserved it. I hate, and the whole thing, like, if you got to put Texas in, if you put Bama in, you don't have to put Bama in, though. Like, you don't have to put an SEC team in. Like, you could have just put Florida State in, but it's just, you have to put an SEC team in.
Okay,
it's Alabama not like Alabama has looked dominant all year, though, dude.
I know, but let me ask you.
Dominant all year.
This is your point. Neutral field right now. What's the spread?
Against who?
What teams? Alabama
versus FSU.
Without Jordan Travis?
Right now. It's 12 and a half.
Minus 8.
Yeah,
it's not 12 and a half. It's not 12 and a half. FSU's defense is still great. And Alabama's offense isn't like spectacular. It's a low scoring game.
It's over a touchdown.
Maybe.
And
it's not double digits.
Yes, it's over a touchdown, but I still think Florida State can win. Like, dude, Auburn, we've been talking all year. Auburn sucks. And they almost beat Alabama.
Yeah.
Like,
they're talking about Jalen Milroe like he's gonna win the damn Heisman next year already now. Like he could. I hope Bama gets crushed. I really do hope they get crushed. And Milroe plays like shit. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, them against Michigan, that video of them, Michigan finding out who they're playing wasn't that great.
Oh, God.
It's exciting. The thing I'm most excited for, obviously, is the games. The second thing I'm most excited for is that we're moving to a 12-team playoff next year. And we never have to have this conversation again.
You think that so in this same vein, do you think the 12-team playoff would solve any of these problems, or do you think it will still be blowouts and then you'll still get the I told you so?
Well, there's still going to be blowouts for sure because there'll be a team in there that's totally overmatched with the 12
team.
For sure.
Yeah, I think that there still will be blowouts, but I never have to have a conversation again about who should be in and who should be out. Like if we start arguing about who's the 14th best team in the country, I'm not having that conversation. Like whoever's in is in, whoever's out is out. Let's get it going here because there's only going to be really 4 teams that can compete. You know, I mean, this year is kind of a weird year for college football. Some of the better teams are having down years, and
I expect that going forward, especially with the transfer portal. I don't think, I think Clemson's going to be weird. I think Nebraska is going to be way better. Notre Dame's kind of be in the same boat, but I do feel
the Pac-12 decided to break up and completely dissolve, and it turns out they're the best conference of college football. It's like they have so many good teams, and they're all leaving. Like it's such a weird year. It's so odd. But yeah, going forward, I think there's going to be bad games in a 12-team format for sure. But I like
there's
the idea
already
of
bad games now.
yeah, and I like the idea of home games in the playoffs. I like the idea of just again some teams getting buys. And, that's fine. Maybe we argue about who should have a bye, who shouldn't. At that point, it's like shut up and play football. Like let's get going here.
Yeah.
Just seeing the graphic of what the 12-team playoff could have looked like this year is all. If you see that you don't get excited, then I don't know if you have blood in your body. Like that's going to be incredible. So I'm ready for it. I'm excited for it.
All right, last thing here before we get into the games. Any thoughts on the Heisman? My Heisman and my chip, everything died when Bo Nix and Oregon went down. I had a little bit on Penix, which, okay, great. At least he made it to the final three. You don't get anything for making it to the final three. Jaden Daniels, he hit it. Did you guys have Jaden Daniels? And second of all, do you think he's going to be good in the NFL? We all know about Caleb. We all know about May. Do you think Jaden Daniels was third-round pick up until yesterday, in my opinion? Up until he got that Heisman, now I think we're having a different conversation. What do you guys think?
I didn't have Jaden Daniels. I think he's going to be really good in the NFL. He was the best player. The best player won the Heisman Trophy, which was good. It wasn't just like the best player on the best team or anything like that, because I thought he was better than Penix. And Penix didn't play great down the stretch. So you guys know more about the NFL than I do, but just based off what I've seen, I think Daniels should translate well to the NFL. I think someone like if he's like the third or even like the fourth quarterback picked or something crazy like that, like that's crazy to me. I know Drake May, everybody's all high on Drake May, and it'd be tough to pass on him, but man, I think Daniels is going to be really good.
I think obviously it really depends about like fit, like where he goes. Yeah. To your point, John, he was a third-round pick. I mean, he played at Arizona State and left and couldn't get on the field at Arizona State a few years ago, right? And now he's Heisman winning quarterback at LSU. That shows to me that he can grow and mature and he can train and he can become better. He's not a 5-star prospect. He's not the next thing, the best prospect since Patrick Mahomes, like Caleb Williams is touted to be. But he can grow, he can develop, he can become good. So he could become the best player in college football, which to this point, I think he was this year. Again, this was a weird year for college quarterbacks. I feel like there was no clear, it was the Caleb Williams trophy to lose, and he lost it. And I think Michael Penix lost it. I think, Bo Nix, to your point, probably lost it maybe the last week of the season if they won that game. I don't believe that if they win that game, he automatically wins the Heisman, but he's definitely a much stronger contender, winning the Pac-12, going to the college playoff, even though it's a regular season award. To your point about, is he going to translate? I think he's going to translate. I really do think it depends on where he goes in the NFL. To me, I think he is Tua, but can run. So if he goes to a Mike McDaniel's system and he has weapons like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, yeah, I think he could be good. But if he goes somewhere and they can't develop him, they have a terrible offensive line, he has to run for his life every play.
Like New England.
Yeah, I think he's going to be in trouble. So to your point, what scares me the most about him is that he was a third-round pick and he shot up to a first-round pick in the last 2 weeks, which, he had some amazing games. There was that one run, I was trying to look at what game it was. I don't know if it was Army, where it was Alabama, where he had that huge running touchdown. And that's when I was like, dude, this guy could win it. And I wish I put some money on it because the run he had, the scramble he had was 40 or 50 yards and it was incredible. So yeah, I mean, he's a complete quarterback in the sense of that he could throw and he could run. And that's what you want in the NFL nowadays. But I definitely think he's the best player in college football. I think he had a better season than Caleb Williams. I think a lot of people get hyped about Marvin Harrison Jr. I think they do it because it's cool because he's a wide receiver. He's a great prospect and everything. I don't think he's having a wild enough
his numbers
season
weren't great. Yeah.
Yeah, and the plays weren't great, dude. If you watch him play, yeah, he's awesome, but there's a lot of plays where I'm like, dude, how are you dropping a football? If you're Marvin Harrison Jr., you're supposed to be the consensus number one, not quarterback taken in the draft. You're a Heisman candidate. You should be making every catch. So
yeah.
All right. I'm not worried about Jaden Daniels. I don't think he's the best quarterback. I think he might even be the fourth best, to be honest with you.
Yeah, for sure. I think in 3 or 4 years it could easily be Caleb Williams, Drake May, and Penix are better quarterbacks for sure, or Bo Nix.
Or the kid from Tulane. I could see. I could see them getting.
Yeah,
I could see them getting amount of playing time. I don't think Jaden Daniels is going to come in here and like start.
I don't know, dude. He got 44 touchdowns in the SEC. Is pretty good.
I know.
He's older. I don't think he's going to sit.
All right, we'll see.
I don't know, dude. I'm thinking like a team like Atlanta takes him. They have a young team, a dynamic team. You get him, Bijan, Drake May, Kyle Pitts also on the offense. It's like, oh, we have to be able to do something here inside in a dome on AstroTurf. We got a fast team. We got a young team. Could be good.
All right. Let's jump into the week's games. I'll start us off here. December 16th, 11 a.m. Eastern, the Myrtle Beach Bowl.
Yeah.
Always classic.
Everyone loves the Myrtle Beach Bowl.
Georgia Southern at Ohio. Ohio has 5 players who are going to be out either due to NFL, injured, or transfer portal. Line moved from -2.5 Ohio to now +3.5 Ohio. And I love Georgia Southern. Taking Georgia Southern here. I think they really care about this type of bowl game. They've been having a great year. Ohio, not at full strength, probably doesn't bode well for them. Sometimes bowl season is just about who cares more. So I'm taking Georgia Southern.
Sometimes it's about who cares more. Sometimes it's also about like who has the players. And to your point, that's something that I'm trying to keep track of. I haven't been the best at it. Like I tried to look it up before the show. It's not always the easiest to figure out how many people from Georgia Southern or Ohio are transferring or not playing or deciding to sit out.
When I was looking at this, I was like, "Who's in the transfer portal? Who's not?" Yeah, that's what I was doing.
I got this information from Brad Powers. He tweeted it out. It's like a famous bookie.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, so that's where I got that from.
Good. No, that's good stuff. If you have that for more games, that's awesome. Because that, to me, I think that and line movement are the two things I look at most when it comes to betting on bowl games, especially these kind of lower, I don't want to say lower end bowl games, but the ones that have a little bit less attention on them, just because there's so many variables in this. You're at a neutral site. You're playing against a team you haven't played before. A lot of weird
11
stuff
a.m.
in this
thing too. Ohio's quarterback, I know, is in the portal. Curtis Warwick. He's been their quarterback for years, but he didn't have a great year this year, but I know he's in the portal.
That's a problem. Yeah, so I'm riding with Georgia Southern. What do you guys got going?
I like Georgia Southern in this one. I wish I got the line movement. The only thing that makes me upset about this is I didn't get it when it first came out. Like, on the 5th, I see on Action Network is what I'm looking at. On the 5th, the line came out here at +2, and it moved to -3.5 right away. So, I guess I didn't bet it a week ago when the line was available. So,
before we knew the transfers, that's really what it is.
Yeah, and it's also right. And again, we're recording on a Tuesday. The game's not till 11 a.m. Saturday. So even putting in the bet now scares me a little bit. But -3.5, I like Georgia Southern here too. The only thing I'm upset about is missing out on some of those points. Other than that, I think Georgia Southern's gonna handle this game.
Okay, I like the under here. I like the under.
Well, action under.
I don't trust either team's offense. Ohio is going to be playing a quarterback who's never really played before. Georgia Southern's lost 4 in a row. They got crushed by App State in their last game. They look like they might compete for the Sun Belt, and then they lost 4 in a row.
Yep.
So I can imagine they'll be motivated for this game, but I think Ohio will too. It's like Ohio's not. I think they went 9-3, so they did have a good year. They have a really good defense. So I don't think Georgia Southern's going to be able to score very many points against them. I'm just not sure Ohio is going to be able to score either. So I like under 48.5. It opened at 54.5, but I think it'll be probably a boring game, especially early kickoff. Yeah, I think it'll be very low scoring.
All right. Give me another game here, Chip.
Well, Miami, Ohio is another like portal victim. I had them to win the MAC. I love them. They went 5-0 after Gabbert got hurt. And their backup quarterback who won the MAC championship last week entered the transfer portal. So, and they're playing App State, and I think it's 6.5 now. They're 6.5 point dogs against App State. And I want to do like the smart, like App State's leading rusher. It entered the transfer portal too, because that's what I was looking at is all transfer portal stuff. So I was looking at that, and I'm like, oh, maybe taking App State is the right thing to do because, you know, they're down to like Miami of Ohio's down to like their third and fourth string quarterback who've never really played before. But I mean, I've been on Miami of Ohio all year. I know it's a totally different team now without the quarterback, but I'm not going against Miami of Ohio. They won the MAC. I was on them then. I'm sticking with Miami of Ohio plus 6.5.
All right. I'm not touching that game.
That's
a scary one for me.
I got the under in that one. I'm going with your logic on the first game, Chip, with the here under 44.5.
Oh yeah, I should have said that too. I'm taking that too. I think that's going to be ugly.
The line movement is what caught my eye on this one. You know, 60% of the money right now in Miami of Ohio. They opened at plus 4.5. They moved to plus 6.5. So even though they're getting 60-40 split of the money, the line is still moving in their favor. To me, that screams App State. But even though I should probably be taking App State, 7 points in a bowl game where people are transferring with both these two teams that, you know, they've looked good. They're in a bowl game for a reason, but don't really trust either of them without some of their key players. I'll stick with the under here, under 44.5.
All right. I could jump to the New Mexico State game on the 16th. I think our cutoff today is the 16th for this episode.
I got one on the 19th, maybe.
Oh, okay. So sorry about that.
There's only one game the 19th. Yeah.
We got New Mexico State at Fresno State, and this is a fun game for me, right? Because I've been following Fresno State all year. I've been watching New Mexico, and then New Mexico is the team that went into Auburn and smacked them around and got paid to do it. Like that's the day we all came together as a nation and said, wow, Auburn really sucks. But nobody talked about how good New Mexico was. And so I was excited to bet this game and excited to bet the New Mexico side. However, Jerry Kills is out, their number one wide receiver, and I think 8 other guys. So now I'm worried about New Mexico State, a team that was so excited. I was like, this is it for them. They're finally riding high in the New Mexico Bowl, too. Like, it even has their name in it. Like, I was ready. And now I'm a little bit nervous about it. So I'm going to take the cheese. I'm going to take plus 3.5 Fresno. Everybody and their mom is on New Mexico State, so that helps me a little bit. I'm going to ride with Fresno, the 3 in the hook, and just see what happens. I'm not confident because Fresno has screwed me 950 times this year, just alone in one season. But I'm taking Fresno State to wrap it all up in the New Mexico Bowl and beat New Mexico somehow, some way.
Yeah, I'm sticking with New Mexico State. Yeah, I can't go against. I've been on them the last 2 years. I was on them last year. I love Jerry Kill, so I'm sticking with them. This is the
Who's not playing?
Thing. Jerry Kill, he's the coach. He's not going to be there.
No, their star wide receiver. He came out and said that their star wide receiver isn't playing, and then he named 8 other guys. That was the news.
Oh, he said their wide receiver isn't playing. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the Miami of Ohio thing. I've been on them all year. I've been on them a long time. I can't go against them now. Plus, I bet Fresno a few times, like you said this year.
Every time
you bet them, you lost. Every time I bet them,
you lost. I know. Yeah. You don't tell me. I know you already lost.
Yeah, I bet and that goes wrong too.
I'm on New Mexico State with you guys. This is my FOMO pick of the week. I don't know much about either of these teams. I see 95% of the money's on New Mexico State. I'm assuming someone knows something that I don't know.
I'm going for it.
I'm not missing out on this. This is why you were just talking about Chip. Like, I bet with this team all year. This is why you make hay when the sun is up in the regular season. You try to get up some units because in bowl season, you just have to ride with some teams. And I have a pick coming up where I'm riding with a team that did good for me, but I don't feel confident about it. But until then, my FOMO pick of the week, New Mexico State. Someone has to know something. There's no reason why 95% of the money is on New Mexico State.
Especially when they're missing 8 guys.
Yeah.
What's your FOMO pick?
That was my FOMO pick. The ride pick, where I'm riding with because they did good for me. I had them as a future from before the season to win the conference just because I love the name. I love the turf. I love the pageantry. Has nothing to do with UCLA, me hating UCLA. Boise plus 4.5. I probably shouldn't do it. I don't know who's out, who's in, what's this, what's that. But what scares me the most is that 60% of the money is on Boise, and it went from 2.5 to 4.5. So that screams you should take UCLA. But I can't do it. Boise State's been my team this year.
4.5 anywhere. What book do you see at 4.5? The most I see is 4. Everywhere I see is 3.5.
Oh, I see it out on Action Network says 4.5.
Okay. That's
okay. Figure out what book
you like it either way.
Bet Rivers has it at plus 4.5. FanDuel has it at 3.5. But yeah, most books have it at 4. Either way, Bet Rivers, good book to look into.
Give you an extra hook.
But yeah, I'm riding with Boise. I don't know if you guys have anything in this game.
The only news I have is Dante Moore is gone, and I know they don't want him anyway. They're using the backup. They like them just as equally. But if Dante Moore goes to Oregon behind Dylan Gabriel, I think at this point I'm just gonna become an Oregon fan.
Like, you just start buying like Oregon gear and stuff like that. Like
every time I like a player, he just ends up going there. Like, and that there's no connection with at all. It's just like, oh, I love Bo Nix. Okay, now he's in Oregon. Okay, I love Dante Moore. Okay, I love Dylan Gabriel. Okay, he's in Oregon. Like, what's going on? It's so weird. Like, I like Riley Leonard. Okay, he's in Notre Dame. I like Sam Hartman. He's in Notre Dame. Now I just like Notre Dame. It's this transfer stuff is really like helping somebody like me out. like I'm so programs now.
Yeah, it's funny. It is making you fan. If you're fans of players, it's making you fans of teams that you normally wouldn't really. I mean, everyone pays attention to Notre Dame and Oregon, but you don't have futures. You're not watching them all season like you do with some of these teams now because of the transfer portal. It's an interesting thought. I never thought about it like that, but that is one of the benefits, I guess, from it.
And like now I can hate Clemson like Chip, and we can all be on the same page.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody hates. They have 5 transfers too, and they don't bring in anybody on the transfer. Like, I have no idea what they're gonna do. Like Matt Rule was kind of talking about it today on the PMT interview. Like, if you recruit somebody out of high school, guess what? You're recruiting for the next person. Like, he's gonna transfer out.
Yeah, exactly.
So like,
it's
just a weird concept to have. Like Clemson, I think I'm okay just saying they're gonna be bad for a while.
Yeah, until they get in the game of the transfer portal. It seems like you have to be in the game.
Dabo's going to have to move. They're going to send them out, move them somewhere else, go to another program, and then they're going to get somebody who's not scared of the transfer portal.
Yep.
It's not that great a job, though, is it? Like, before he turned them into a powerhouse, they kind of stunk.
But with a new format, I think they could be fine, right?
It depends if the SEC takes them, I guess.
It depends if the SEC takes Dabo himself. I feel like he's been just trying to get to the SEC like on his own as a coach.
He wants to go to he wants the Alabama job after Saban retires. But if he doesn't embrace the portal, then Saban's gonna be like, no.
Yeah, that's
why would Saban want to hand it to him?
That's a good point. All right, Greg, you got another game. I'm excited for you to get into the December 19th game because I know the quarterback. So I'm excited to talk about that if you want to go there real quick.
I do because, dude, December 19th, there's one game, 9 o'clock. I mean, 12.5 points. That number just was like, wait, what are we talking about here? All these games are 3 points, 4 points, 6 points is a lot.
And to be clear, you're talking about the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl.
Yes,
I am
exactly. UTSA versus Marshall. The Roadrunners, baby. Again, and 95% of the money is on UTSA. I'm just assuming someone knows something.
They're just upset because Chad Pennington's son is going to start.
So is that
Marshall's entire team in the transfer portal? Maybe
no,
we don't know that.
It's not,
dude. 13 points, 12.5 points in a bowl game at a neutral site with people out, people not playing, people in the transfer portal. 95% of the money. right now on the Tuesday before, a week away. Why is anyone betting this game? I feel like someone's on to something. So give me UTSA minus 12.5. I just feel like someone knows something out there.
Oh, you kind of tricked me there. I kind of want Marshall.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say Marshall.
Yeah,
I'm assuming someone knows something. Someone's putting down big money on UTSA a week in advance.
Yeah, no, this really makes me want to take Marshall. At home, Chad Pennington said he's got an award or something. Yeah, I'm actually excited for this to see what goes on there. I think it's a new era kind of starting up. UTSA has been good all year. Maybe towards the end. Right, we were kind of writing them off in the first half of the season, and then they ended up coming through. I gotta bet the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. I can't sleep at night if I don't. So I'm gonna take Marshall. I'm gonna ride with Chad Pennington and kind of see what happens there. But there's another bowl game that I have to get your opinion on, and it's everybody's favorite one.
Oh,
it's the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. I know you guys have been waiting for that bowl all year. I'm surprised it's not a January 1st game as well. But it's Cal at Texas Tech.
Oh,
and the reason I bring it up is because I hate Texas Tech.
Yes, thank you. Welcome to the right side of history.
But they're against Cal. And Cal hurts to watch. Are you guys taking anything in this game? Because I'm thinking about taking the under. 57.5.
I'm not, but that's the way I was leaning when I first looked at it. Was just bet the under in this one. Saturday at 9:15. Not too much else is going on because college football's kind of wrapped up. It's going to be one of the few games on this time. Might be the only game on this time. Throw it on the background. Throw on the under. I mean, 57, 58. It's a pretty decent number for this slate of games. It's one of the higher spreads of the weekend. And when I think of Cal and Texas Tech this year, I don't really think of high scoring offenses. So. I'm not taking anything, but the under is the way I would lean. I think that's a good bet.
Yeah, I'm not taking anything because I don't know that much about Cal. I know Texas Tech is inconsistent. I didn't even know Cal was going to be bowl eligible till I saw them on the list for the schedule. But I don't know. I guess maybe under, but I'd probably lean more towards Texas Tech because I know more about them, but I also don't trust them. So I'm probably just going to stay away from this game, especially just because I'm going to bet every other game that day pretty much. So,
yeah.
All right. What else you got going then, Chip?
Well, I'm definitely taking the under in Boise State UCLA.
Okay.
Because I wrote down over and then crossed it out and it was like, no, under. I'm just going under. I'm under in the Ohio game, under Miami of Ohio, and under in Boise, UCLA. Because the UCLA is they have their quarterbacks coach left for another job, their defensive coordinator left for another job. They have a weird situation going on there. And Boise, their quarterback just transferred to Arkansas. So they're starting a true freshman who I don't think has ever played before. So it's another situation like that with, I think, Miami of Ohio we were talking about before. And I think it's going to be very low scoring, that game. I like the under there. I thought about taking Boise. Like you said, Greg, it's just you look at Boise and you're like, oh, I want to take Boise in a bowl game. But I don't know. True freshman quarterback makes me kind of nervous there.
Yeah, no, I agree.
UCLA's defense has been awesome all year. So
yes, it has.
But at the same time,
you think the defensive end is going to play?
Oh, I think he's already out. I think he announced he's out.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's like, well, UCLA may not care about this game. So I don't know. I'm a little torn on it.
But the quarterback has been there all year. Like they've been subbing him in, doing like the kind of like what we've been begging for in the NFL. When we have really bad quarterbacks, it's kind of do like first half, second half quarterback, or like one drive here, one drive there. They've been doing it in UCLA.
Yeah, like losing Dante Moore, I guess, doesn't really change the season for them that much because he didn't contribute that much. But
he will, right, Chip?
Well, down the line, ideally,
2-3 years.
I mean, nobody on earth cares, but it really is weird that the both rookie cards with signatures that I have are both ending up in Oregon. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right. Any other games here, Chip?
That's it from that slate from up until we're going till December 19th. That's all I've looked at so far. Yeah.
Nobody's touching the famous Toastery Bowl with Western Kentucky and Old Dominion.
Western Kentucky, OU. I haven't looked enough at that. If I do bet that, I'll just blind bet the Hilltoppers probably.
I hate Western Kentucky with all my soul, so that'd be cool with me.
Do you really?
Yeah, they cost me a lot of money, Chip. Cost me a lot of money. Because I believed the odds in the beginning of the season. I had no idea Western Kentucky existed. I fell in love because of their odds. I rode them all the way to the end, and they just stabbed me multiple times, just week after week.
That's how true spite games and spite is born. Just teams that you just blindly put in parlays, and then you get to the end of the line, and you're like, oh, I just need this one team to win that I don't care about. And they stab you in the back.
And they make it too. Like it's not like it wasn't even close. Like it would be great if it just wasn't close. Like I have
they make it to the conference championship game and then they lose.
Yeah, like I have a couple of NBA parlays where it's like it's all good and then it's like Wizards to win, make the playoffs. Like okay, it's done. I get it. Like it's not close. Like I'm not gonna be upset about that.
Yeah, no, I'm in a weird spot with Tulane right now. I could have won some good money if Tulane won that game, and then they just got smoked by SMU for no reason.
Well, there was a reason. The coach had already taken another job at halftime. So he was like, I'm out.
That's true. Yeah, that's it for me too. Like through Tuesday, I think that's it. We'll be starting up next week. Again, next week we'll have an episode with the rest of the bowl games leading up to conference championship or the national championship quarterfinals.
Mm-hmm.
Big episode, big bowl game week next week. NFL getting a little frisky too, get some Saturday games thrown in there. There's a lot going on right now in the football world.
There is. Hit us up on the NFL Winning Picks Weekly episode to look for a full slate of that. We got Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday games. So that's a fun time. On this feed, we're going to be dropping the Natty 4 plus another week and a half of bowl games. So that would be fun. Chip, real quick, kind of bonus here. Have you been watching college basketball yet?
A little bit. Why?
I'm just curious. Greg, have you? Do you guys have any? Because like no. Like when I'm doing my huge parlays, like for the women, I've been taking NC State to win it every time, and the odds just keep going down, and it's making me so happy. So it's up plus 5,000, then it went down to 2,000. Now it's up plus 1,800. I've been sticking them into every parlay. I love NC State. Zoe Brooks is gonna win ACC Player of the Year, Freshman of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, if that's even an award too. They've been killing. They beat UConn. They've been smacking everyone. So my question is, I keep jumping to the Final Four for men's to try to add, just a couple extra teams in there. And I want to say Arizona, but I don't want to fall into the Arizona trap.
Yeah, I don't think it's a trap. I think they're the best team this year.
Okay, so just stick Arizona in whenever I want to jump up those odds.
They look amazing. They look amazing. But I mean, UConn is still the champs until they're not, and they look awesome too. But I mean, Arizona and UConn are the best teams right now. Arizona, UConn, Kansas, right? They're the best teams.
I haven't been watching. I'll be honest with you. I am too engulfed in the NFL. I'm too engulfed in the NBA. I really don't even look at college basketball until like February.
I watched a little bit of Arizona. I haven't watched a ton. I've watched enough of I watched the Duke game, and I just watched them pummel Duke. And Duke is not good this is not the best Duke team. But man, they looked awesome against Duke. They run up and down the court, and this guy's just a great coach. I don't know. They're one of the best teams, I think. And they just pummel Wisconsin too. Like
I have no idea. Honestly, when I tell you, the only thing I know is Albany lost to Temple and Barclays Center. That's all I know about college basketball right now.
No, they're really good. What are their odds for Final Four? Do you have it in front of you?
Final Four national championships 1,000.
For who?
For Arizona, right?
It's like plus 320 last time I checked.
Yeah, plus 320 to make the Final Four.
Yeah, I knew that number. That's what I'm saying. I keep looking at that. I keep looking at it. I just kind of keep adding it, but I'm like, I don't know if this is stupid or not. If they're just, because honestly, early on, I was taking Duke to make the Final Four, and then those odds dropped dramatically. And then I see that they're bad. That's the one thing I know.
They're up 5 on Hofstra at halftime right now.
I was gonna say they're in trouble against Hofstra.
Yeah.
What happened to my boy, the Polish kid?
The Polish
Who's
from
the
Duke.
Yeah, the big
Is
tall white
Fi-
kid.
Is Filipowski Polish?
Filipowski. I mean, I don't know. I assume. Is
No.
that too much?
I don't
What's-
know what happened to him.
What
Their
happened to
defense is
Filipowski?
Their defense is atrocious. It's really bad.
Derek Lively, Derek Lively.
They miss him a lot.
don't
They
know
don't
what you
have a
have
Derek
until he's
Lively
gone.
this year. They don't have a Derek Lively this year. And their best defensive player just is a complete zero on offense. So it's tough to have him out there. It's tough. It's going to be a tough year.
Damn,
They lost
no
to Georgia
Roach.
Tech
Roach is
already.
gone. Oh, no, Roach is still there.
Roach is still there. He's not having a good year.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, Filipowski and Roaches aren't doing anything. What are you gonna do?
All right. That was talking hoops. Any other notes?
No, ready for a big week next week. Big episode.
Big episode.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna be too far off from each other, but we'll see. None of us have Texas. I think that's the only team that none of us have any confidence in. So that means Texas is gonna win. See you in the championship, Texas.
Yeah. Congratulations to all the ticket holders.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. All right. Hit us up. Twitter, YouTube, Knicks Come, Jets Come, etc. Period. We're gonna switch out to our own feed soon for the Winning Picks Weekly. So look out for that, just so it's nothing intermingled anymore. We'll just have a Winning Picks Weekly, so we'll just have college, NFL, we'll just have its own video, so you're not get confused. Other than that, peace out. Let's go Jets. And Knicks.